Look at the night sky, and everything makes sense. Galaxies spin in predictable, elegant curves shaped by gravity. But if you zoom all the way down to a single atom, that elegance vanishes into a chaotic, violently vibrating cloud of probabilities. This is the central crisis of modern physics. The equations that explain massive objects, like stars and planets, most famously championed by Albert Einstein, completely fall apart when you apply them to the microscopic world. For decades, brilliant minds have tried to bridge this mathematical gap, searching for a single theory of everything that unifies the large and the small. And for decades, they have failed. A new framework called the Observer-Dependent Theory of Everything, or ODTO, makes a radical claim. It argues that physics isn't broken because of a missing equation. It is broken because science excluded the single most important variable in the universe, the human observer. The universe does not exist independently out there, waiting to be measured. The gap in our physics models is an illusion, created the exact moment we try to separate the human mind from the reality it actually helps construct. We are taught that an atom is a fixed solid object, like a tiny solar system. But ODTOE defines it completely differently. Under this framework, an atom is merely a field of infinite potential states. Before you look at it, an atom has no definitive position, shape, or properties. It requires an act of conscious observation to force that blurry potential to collapse into one specific reality. At this microscopic level, a system operates at what physicists call minimum coherence. Without an observer to lock it down, the reality of that single atom violently splinters into hundreds of branching, infinite possibilities. Which brings us to a massive problem. If the foundational building blocks of matter are nothing but chaotic probabilities, how do they ever stack together to form a solid, predictable human being? The answer lies not in the particles themselves, but in the human mind. According to this framework, you are not a passive spectator watching the universe unfold. You are an active observation operator. Your consciousness acts as the mechanism that forces that chaotic quantum storm to instantly freeze and snap into a rigid, highly structured physical reality. ODTO maps this out mathematically using a variable called contextual belief. This is not mystical faith. Contextual belief is a strictly measurable state of cognitive coherence within the observer's mind. The mathematical strength of that cognitive coherence directly dictates the probability of any specific physical outcome actually happening in front of you. The human mind serves as a structural anchor. It literally resists the underlying chaos of the quantum realm to build and maintain a stable slice of reality. This equation represents the ODTOE calculation for contextual belief, broken down into 4 essential mental parameters. The first parameter is focus of attention. This represents the sheer intensity and direction of your observation toward a specific outcome. The second is emotional coherence. This measures the perfect alignment between your internal emotional state and your conscious intention. Third is the absence of doubt. This calculates the internal consistency within your mind, specifically the lack of cognitive contradiction or second-guessing. And the fourth variable is accumulated experience. This is the weight of your past empirical confirmations, essentially the historical data reinforcing what you expect to see. Because these variables are multiplied together, if even one of them drops to 0, the entire equation collapses. Human consciousness must perfectly align all 4 of these traits to successfully manifest a physical reality. How does this scale up to the macroscopic world? One person's focused attention might collapse a single atom, but how do we explain the immovable, massive orbit of a planet like Jupiter? The framework scales up through a metric called collective coherence. This is the mathematical synchronization of billion simply configured, hard, and objectively real, only because humanity is collectively locked into the exact same synchronized hallucination. This creates an obvious temporal paradox. If observers must exist to collapse probability into a physical universe, what created the first observer? ODTOE resolves this with the concept of the fixed point. It describes reality as a self-exciting circuit, a state where the physical universe and the conscious observer simultaneously generate each other. This eliminates the need for any external creator or starting point. Reality is simply a closed, self-referential loop of mutual creation. We do not live inside a pre-existing box. From the smallest atom to the largest stars, the universe is a participatory project. And if we were to dramatically shift our collective coherence, we could literally rewrite the laws of physics.